massive fucking spoilers are I'm just kidding. It's spoiler free. That's right. This is my spoiler free review of Spider-Man No Way Home. I'll probably post a spoiler filled review sometime down the road, but hey, maybe not. I'm a busy man. The rule here is that if it was shown in the trailer, then it's free game. So if you've managed to somehow avoid all the trailers and you know literally nothing about this film, fucking bravo, dude. I admire that. But this video's not for you. Everyone got that? Yeah? Okay, cool. We're moving on. So for those that are unfamiliar with the plot, No Way Home picks up right where Far From Home left off, with Mysterio revealing Spider-Man's identity to the whole world. Then Peter's life is thrown to shit, and he does a thing with our old pal Steven, and money! I mean villains from other movies are here, and oh, you better believe they're upset. I'll start with the things I did like. Okay, first of all, Tom Holland is quite good in this. I mean, he's always been great as Spider-Man, but this may just be the best he's ever been, and that's partly because he gives an amazing effort, but also because, emotionally speaking, he has a lot more to do. This movie, more so than any other MCU Spider-Man film before, really challenges Peter Parker. It makes him face some dark consequences that Tom Holland hasn't really been given the opportunity to explore before, and then facing those consequences and bringing Peter to a darker place than what we've seen before, Tom absolutely rises to the occasion. He gives probably the best performance I've ever seen from him. Also, the ending to this film, again, no spoilers, but I love the balls this movie had to end where it did. It's hard because I can't really say what happens, but it's an ending that truly I didn't see coming, and I don't think anyone else will either. It's not something that you can just easily predict, and I liked that. And it also allows for Peter to truly experience the weight of being Spider-Man and doing the things that he okay, spoilers. I can't get into that. And lastly, Willem Dafoe. What a fucking man. There's one scene in particular about halfway through the movie, an interaction between him and Peter, and just, yeah, again, it's something I'd have to go into in my spoiler video, but I'll go as far as to say that it's maybe my favorite Norman Osborn moment in any Spider-Man film, and I don't say that lightly. It's for the spoiler, but yeah, it's really hard to talk about this without going into spoilers. But as far as my positives go for the film, that's about it. Let's get into the negatives. The main issue I have with this film is the thing that I feared the most that would happen, and that's a lot of it kind of just felt like fan service. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with fan service. In fact, I think that word is thrown around a bit too much. Fan service is fine, it services the fans. It makes them happy. It's not a bad thing, so long as it serves a purpose. The reason for doing fan service needs to be bigger than,
oh, let's do it cause it'll be cool.
And in this, there's a lot of,
oh, fuck yeah, bro, people are gonna eat that shit up,
without much.
Okay, but how will this service the overall story?
Though, granted, the entire plot is kind of built around fan service, so you could argue that it does indeed serve the story, though I'd counter back with that the plot wasn't very deep at all to begin with. It kind of just feels like a giant excuse to bring back a bunch of people that'll make the audience scream from their chairs. And I wouldn't even be against that if they did a good job with what they brought back, but that's the fucking thing, man. They didn't. Norman, like I said before, had one really good scene, arguably two, but beyond that, that's about it. Everyone else is just kind of bad. First of all, a lot of their dialogue feels like cringe NPC video game dialogue, like Doc Ock immediately saying to Spider-Man,
"Where's my machine? The power of the sun in the palm of my hand, where is it?"
Or like when Spider-Man encounters Sandman, and Sandman is like, "Peter, do you remember me? It's Flint Marko. Do you remember? I am Flint Marko." Like, did an actual fucking child write this dialogue? Also, the villains, for some reason, all turned into comedians. I guess being sucked into the Marvel Cinematic Universe fundamentally changes their disposition to adapt its humor. Well, if you're going in there, you're gonna need some of these. And of course the audience fucking ate it up, laughed every fucking chance they got. Fucking robots. And that's my main issue with this film. It's cool to see all of these familiar faces in the film, but it really didn't feel like the movie understood on a fundamental level what they were working with. These guys all just kind of felt like subpar caricatures of their former selves. They felt like they went through the MCU brand branded treatment rather than staying true to who they are, except maybe Norman Osborn. I think Willem Dafoe actually pushed pretty hard to make sure he had a lot going on for his character, and for the time he was given, he was great. I actually think the movie would have been a lot better if he was the only villain in the film, because he absolutely stole the show from everyone else. They should have capitalized on that, not watered it down with shadows of former villains. I think I'll expand more in my spoiler video, because I'm leaving out so much, both of things that I liked and I disliked. But overall, I did enjoy this film. I enjoyed it a lot, and I appreciate, again, how they didn't back out of making Peter face the consequences to his actions in more ways than one. It's absolutely the darkest of all three Spider-Man MCU films, which I feel was much needed for this franchise, but I really didn't like how much hollow fan service was implemented with this film. It kind of just felt disrespectful to the characters they brought back and disrespectful to the fans, because it really feels like Marvel thinks that all we need to be satisfied is to simply watch these guys talk. And you know what's sad is that they're probably right. Oh my god, dude. I shit you not, dude. My theater, this is not an exaggeration. They screamed and cheered and clapped about 20 times. That's not an exaggeration. Like, it was in the double digits, man. They wouldn't shut the fuck up. I think Marvel understands that their fan base will literally cheer on just about anything they do so long as they think it's cool. I don't think they care about structure or depth or meaning or value or anything like that. I think they just want to see things that they think looks cool. And this movie, man, if you're just here for the fan service, like, if you fully admit that, you're like, dude, I don't care if it's like a great film, if the characters are implemented with the depth and meaning that they were given before, I just want to see them again. Dude, if that's all you want, this movie is going to be your favorite movie of all time, man. You're gonna fucking love it, because it is everywhere in this film. But if you want something more, if you want something deeper, if you were afraid that this movie was gonna like mistreat the villains that they had, it kind of does. I mean, it doesn't do it in like the worst way, but these guys definitely feel just like shadows of their former self. And it was, as for someone who deeply loves every single one of these characters, like even the bad ones, I felt like most of them were given a disservice. Though again, Norman Osborn, oh my god, maybe my favorite Norman Osborn moment. I gotta talk about it in my spoiler review, dude. It's so cool. Overall, I don't know, dude. It's hard giving a rating right now because it's so fresh in my mind. I don't know. If I had to give it I think I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5, because I do think it's really good, but I don't think it's great. And I think it's kind of frustrating too, because I know a lot of people are going to just absolutely like adore this movie and they're going to say it's the greatest superhero film of all time. I'm already seeing people saying it just because of all the fan service it has. It's so frustrating. It almost ruins the experience for me, because I have like this inclination to like counteract the balance of the weight and say, oh, it's actually kind of shit. It's not as good as you're saying. I can't lie. It is a good movie. It's also kind of mid. It's a little subpar, especially given the material they had. But man, again, if you're just here for the fan service, oh, you're gonna fucking love this. Anyways, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. If this gets 1 million views or 1 billion, I'll make a spoiler video. Anything less, and I refuse. Thank you for watching, and maybe I'll see you in the next one. Maybe not. I don't know. I've got fucking things to do.